Jack Baker is easily Resident Evil's scariest villain. From the moment that he was first introduced to the player, it became obvious that Capcom had struck gold.
Welcome to the family, son.
By its sixth main installment, Resident Evil had strayed so far from its survival horror roots that it was almost unrecognizable. But RE7 flipped everything on its head by not only switching to first person, but also by lowering the stakes, therefore making the story so much more personal than it had been up to that point. And RE7 gets very personal. That's what gives it that secret sauce. It's a story full of characters and scenarios that feel real in many ways and to a certain extent very possible. If you were out wandering through the backwoods of Louisiana, the odds of you coming across a home that's very reminiscent of the Baker's estate is highly likely. It's the reason that RE7 is not only the scariest game in the series, but one of the scariest horror games of all time. A major contributing factor to that is Jack Baker, the Kentucky Fried father of the Baker family that relentlessly stalks you throughout the house in the first act of the story. He is the definition of anxiety as he wanders through the cramped halls of the house looking for you, playing this sadistic game of cat and mouse. The caveat to Jack is that he's very much your average southern hick. He even shrugs off bullets to the face, just like your average Louisianan. Even though he's the Terminator, the fact that he's also just some dude rather than some tentacle meat monster works to his benefit and actually makes him scarier to the human mind. There are two basic human fears that the horror genre likes to manipulate. The first is the fear of the unknown, or what we struggle to comprehend. Because it's outside of our scope of everyday reality, our imagination runs wild, filling in the blanks for us, causing the feeling of unease that we get with things like the supernatural, or even like the bottom of the ocean. The second fear is that of the possible. The things that could very easily be us if we made a wrong turn down a sketchy road or broke into an old house looking for our missing demon wife. You know, typical Tuesday. In scenarios like these, the player self-inserts into the situation and becomes the character that we play as, because we aren't asked to suspend disbelief as much, and therefore we can relate so much more. This is called immersion, and it's exactly why the switch to first person was the perfect choice for RE7. We are meant to be Ethan. What makes Jack so terrifying in this context is that the mundane has been weaponized. Capcom takes something familiar and creates a nightmare scenario. A normal home in a normal looking area inhabited by the normal looking people. Never mind the roaches. But beneath the surface, there's obviously something sinister. Jack torments you both physically and psychologically, almost as if his only goal is to terrorize you until you break. While the mechanics of Jack and Mr. X from RE2 are very similar, the type of horror is much different. Mr. X is meant to be a presence that you eventually get used to and learn to navigate around him as you listen out for his footsteps. Though he stalks you just like Jack, Mr. X is not meant to be scary. He's meant to keep the player on their toes. He's more in the thriller variety. Leon even has a full arsenal capable of stunning and incapacitating him at a moment's notice if you don't feel like dealing with him. Jack, on the other hand, catches you at the beginning of the game when you're at your weakest. You literally only have a butter knife to defend yourself with during his early confrontations. You eventually get a handgun, but Jack definitely proves that that's still not going to be enough. When creating Jack, it's clear that Capcom was aiming for horror, even taking heavy inspiration from classic films like Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Every last detail that they put into him, from his everyman appearance, to his southern drawl, to his glasses. When was the last time you got chased by someone with glasses on? Right down to his playfully terrifying dialogue is exactly why Jack Baker is easily Resident Evil's scariest villain.